So Julian Assange's decision is going to be made tomorrow. Don't know what to expect. I am not very optimistic, but
I think that I predict that what they're going to do is they'll grant him his motion and they'll let him continue his appeal there. But
in Australia?
No, it's in the UK. But because what this is a decision or whether or not he can appeal the ruling. And so if they say he can, then that just prolongs it and keeps it going on and on and on. Because the problem is that the other two options are, one, the U.S. would have to just dismiss the case and let it go. And at this point, I feel like they are just so...
There is so much going on right now that they probably could like slip it under the rug.
Well, but the thing is, but the thing is that the last thing I think they want is really to extradite him, but they can't get out of it in another way. So I kind of have this... They did make him an offer. Actually, they've made, like a few months ago, they made him an offer, which was that he had to agree to what was espionage. Like he had to agree that he did it in order to get the deal. And he said no. And then I know that there was, within the past few days, there was something new that was offered, but I am guessing that it's not, he's not going to admit to doing something he didn't do. He's just not. If he were going to do that, he could have done it a long time ago.
Which is why you wonder what the conditions will be if they are actually going to offer him a plea deal.
Well, I know that our administration, in my opinion, and I give them very little grace in terms of like knowledge or strategy, but I cannot fathom that they want Julian Assange stateside anytime between now and November.
Considering everything that's going on right now?
Okay. They do not want that, but they can't exactly say, oh yeah, we were wrong and like illegally had this person's life ruined and detained him and violated all of his human rights for the past 15 years, blah, blah, blah. So they're not going to do that. But so if he wins this case, all that does is say that then he can have this appeal. But that could take weeks, months, years. So that my guess is that that's what would happen. And that at least buys them time till after the election. And I know that's a disgusting way of looking at this, but that's Jen's pick.
Scroll down a little bit, Colin. Just want to get a look.
Jen's pick. You know, remember Jean's picks?
Yeah. Jean Shalit?
No, on Seinfeld, Jean's picks. Vincent and Jean.
That's how I said Jean Shalit, though.
No, Vincent and Jean.
If you guys don't know who Jean Shalit is.
No, people know.
Mr. Mustache. The U.S. Department is reportedly considering permitting Julian Assange to enter a guilty plea to a reduced charge of mishandling classified information. And you're of the belief there's no way he's going to do that.
No, I don't. And by the way, the concept of what is that charge? Mishandling classified information. So what is that then? Is that a misdemeanor? Is it still a felony?
A lesser charge related to mishandling of classified information could enable Assange to plead to the misdemeanor remotely, potentially allowing him to avoid extradition to the U.S., where he has been wanted for years.
There's your compromise.
Free without having to travel to America.
There's your compromise. Okay, so there's the compromise. My thought process was that they are going to move heaven and earth to not have him here. They don't want that now. They now realize what they've stepped in and pushed, but now it's a matter of saving face. So that was exactly what I'm saying. They don't want him here. So there's your compromise where they get him, but it looks really pathetic, guys. The fact that you've been holding somebody basically hostage for 15 years and all you're going to get them on is a misdemeanor. Let me tell you something. If that was like in any attorney's office of any, you really should lose your job.
Yeah, go out of business.
It's seriously, that's really poor judicial work.
In a statement emailed to Reuters, Assange's attorney, Barry Pollock, wrote, "It is inappropriate for Mr. Assange's lawyers to comment while his case is before the UK High Court, other than to say, we've been given no indication that the Department of Justice intends to resolve the case, and the U.S. is continuing with as much determination as ever to seek his extradition on all 18 charges, exposing him to 175 years in prison."
So that's the, okay.
U.S. prosecutors have earlier said it would be no more than 63. It's just 63 months. Just 5 years.
He's
You
already
can do
been,
that standing on your head.
he's already been in prison for like how long? 14? I mean, when did he, because to me, when he was first stuck at the Ecuadorian embassy, that's when the clock started. It's only gotten just exponentially worse since he's been at Belmarsh. But he's been without freedom and without liberty for however long from when he first went into the Ecuadorian embassy. It's like 14 years at this point. It's something off, like it's crazy long. So I think what this looks like to me, who is this article? Who's this from?
I'm not sure, but let's finish it out. Scroll down a little bit more, Colin.
Okay, because I think that that's very telling. So the look of this article, and again, I don't know who this is from, is that the U.S. needs to come off like they're not going to they're still fighting full force. They need to come off that way publicly. All right, because that's the saving face thing. But then behind the scenes, it could be something else is going on entirely. And that's why where's this article from? That's what I'm saying. Who is this?
This is from
The Independent. I don't know.
Marusha Musafar.
Okay.
So
I don't know this.
The Independent. No, the Independent is in the UK.
Okay.
And it's what.
All right, so you'd have to take that with a grain of salt, just like us.
Yeah, that's a call. So I mean, again, we don't know what's going to happen.
It's theater at this point, but I am just saying, from any sort of political standpoint, I cannot fathom that the Joe Biden administration would want Julian Assange anywhere over here between now and November. Now, whether or not they care about what happens after that, I'm sure they don't. But that would be my prediction. So whatever would facilitate that not happening and them saving face somehow would be what would happen.